Hello, everyone. This is David with Let's Talk Theology. I want to thank you for joining us in this podcast. Thank you for being a part of the YouTube channel. We hope everyone has been doing well, and hopefully you've still been studying and dialoguing and talking with your friends and family members about the scriptures. We really hope that you've been doing that. We, as much as we can, like to encourage you to study the Bible, study theology, really understand what you're in, what you believe, and why you believe it. All right. So we're going to get started today. It's been some time since we've loaded a video, and that's because we have been trying to think of a way to present a recent study that our church has been engaged in for the last 20 weeks, about 21 weeks. We have been studying the book of Revelation, and the approach that we have taken is studying every chapter and every verse of the book of Revelation to understand what the text itself is trying to present to the original recipients of the book. So that has been very interesting and very informative. It has been a very long journey, and we have a few more chapters to go. So we're coming down to the end of it, and we initially thought that we would upload the Bible studies, but the Bible studies, as you would imagine, has been very personal. It's been specific to the audience that we have been teaching and dialoguing with, and it has been very long. All right, it's been literally sometimes an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and that may not hold your attention span as much as we would like for it to do. So what we're going to try to do here is condense what we've been going over for the last 20 or so weeks into smaller videos, and we'll take our time, just as we've been doing for the last several months, and we'll look at the major points and the parts of the book that we like to draw special or specific emphasis on to help you as you read this book by yourself. And I would again encourage you to read this book from verse to verse, all right? Because like we do with most of the Bible, this book of Revelation has been used to answer questions that the book itself is not specifically concerned with. And what we oftentimes end up doing in that is we take the book, we answer questions that the book is not concerned with, and then we get to a point where the book is no longer making sense. So it's very important to really just get down to it, read each verse, each chapter within the order it is presented, and just see what the original author was trying to present to the audience. We won't lose anything by doing that, okay? So as we get into the book, we want to kind of understand and see what the writing itself is presenting. And again, there's been a lot of questions asked about this book. You may be concerned about the Antichrist and Armageddon, and you may be concerned about when will the world end. And those are all great questions, but again, those are sometimes questions that are not specifically answered by the book itself. In fact, the book is really concerned with other things, even though certain implications about these big questions are found in the book of Revelation. We must be careful not to really make the entire book about that. And so what we have essentially is our understandings of the book of Revelation to this point for most Christians is not necessarily what they read or understood by reading the book of Revelation itself. Most of our understanding has come from what we've heard, what we've seen on TV, or what we just oftentimes assumed about the book. And that's why I really encourage people to just get into the book, read it. It may not be what you thought it was, but I can guarantee you that it will be much more than you could ever think it could be, because the book itself is such a rich book, and it has such a very unique approach, and it is talking about something that is very important to every Christian of all times. All right. So you may be asking by this point, what is the book of Revelation all about? Like, what is the point? What was it trying to express or give to the audience that received this book of prophecy? And the title of the book will kind of help you and lead you into the right direction, because the title of the book is affectionately known and commonly known as Revelation, or the Book of Revelation. All right. And essentially, the Book of Revelation is trying to reveal something. In fact, the word revelation comes from a Greek word which means to unveil or uncover or disclose. All right. To lighten or to really reveal. All right. So when you think about the title itself, it kind of gives you a hint at what the book is seeking to do. The purpose of the book is to reveal something. All right. It is telling you just by the title itself that it wants to reveal something. The most important question that we could probably ask is, what exactly is the book trying to reveal? This is where we sometimes get into various arguments and various different perspectives, because we all, in many denominations or sectors of Christianity, we have somewhat of a great difference as far as what we believe about this book. There's a great difference, and there's a great many of interpretations concerning this book that we can get into. But as of right now, for this study, we want to just specifically look at, what does the book say? What does the book say it is trying to reveal? And the first verse will help us with that. And it is probably one of the most important verses of the book, because it helps us to see what the book is trying to tell us. What is it trying to unveil or uncover? Verse 1 says it this way. And the first 5 words of the book itself gives us a great understanding about what this book is trying to do. And it reads this way: the revelation of Jesus Christ. Very simple, right? Notice it doesn't say the revelation of the end times, the revelation of the end of the world, the revelation of how things are going to happen. We get into that, but the premise, the purpose of the book itself is a revelation of Jesus Christ. So this is what we can say about it so far. The book of Revelation is a book from Jesus about Jesus. That is to say, Jesus saw fit to inspire a book about him. He inspired the writing of a book from him about him. All right. That's what the book of Revelation is. All right. What is so amazing about this book is that Jesus saw fit to inspire one unique book throughout the entire Bible to fully disclose and unveil himself. And ironically, within the 21st century and for many years, the book of Revelation has been the most avoided and the most intimidating book of the Bible. And that leads us to ask one question. If the book of Revelation is a book from Jesus about Jesus, that is to say, if it is a book from Jesus about who he is, and it is a book totally unveiling and uncovering himself in this book, how much can we really say we know Jesus if the book of Revelation is the most avoided book in our Bible? All right. And that's why, brothers and sisters, I believe that this study and this understanding of this book is imperative. If we really want to know Jesus Christ, I would have to tell you the way to truly know who he is and know him as he is to read the book of Revelation and fully understand it as it was written and as Jesus intended for us to understand it. So that's what we're going to do in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully every day we can add to this collection. We can look at ways of interpreting the book. And I wouldn't say really interpreting, but really just to understand it, because we all can have an interpretation, right? We can all say something about the book, but we really just want to understand it as it was written. So that's what we're going to do in the next couple of weeks or months. We're going to delegate or dedicate a day, a few moments to look at something in this book, and we're going to go along in this journey together. All right. So please subscribe. Tell your friends what we're doing here at Let's Talk Theology. Let them know that there's a study on the book of Revelation. And I promise you, I'm going to seek to just give you exactly what the text is saying. And maybe at some other date, we will get into some other things. But as of right now, we want to focus on the letter, the writing itself. All right. And we'll go further in this understanding. So we thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this broadcast. Stay tuned, lock in, let's learn and grow together. We thank you for watching, and until next time, God bless.